Shalom, Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bahashim Akakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, even the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push in the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. To the Aquat that are listening, learning, being a pillar of rest, the 144,001 the hopeful elect of Israel, my brother Yahshua, back with the World War III Daily update. Shalom and salutations to you all. Let's start right here in Ezekiel 38 because this thing is going down right now. Gog. Gog represents Russia. Okay. The Russians and the land of Russia. So that's who we're dealing with. Okay. So we jump down to 7, Ezekiel 38 and 7. Be thou prepared. Talk about thou is Russia. Right? And prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Okay? We're watching this right now play out in the biggest way, right? Let's get one more before we watch this video. Let's get Joel. This is one of my favorite scriptures. Joel 3 and 2. In the NLT, okay? Because if you read the NIV, I will gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. When you read this, it makes more sense. I will gather the armies of the world into the Middle East. There I will judge them for arming my people, my special possession for scattering my people among the nations and for dividing up my land. Now, do we see this? The Most High gathering the armies of the world into the Middle East? Let's find out just by watching this video. How long is it? Let's see. It's 15 minutes. Okay, so Open-Minded Thinker Show 2 hours ago. Worst news for Israel. Russia makes U-turn, joins hand with Lebanon war. Look at that. What is the Lebanon war? Well, the Israelis are over there bombing and strafing indiscriminately because they have planes, right? And what is it? Russia's coming to the rescue. Now let's go back real quick. Ezekiel, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. Okay? Many people with thee. Lebanon falls into that. Okay? Syria falls into that. Okay? And be thou a guard unto them. Is that what they're doing? That's what this says. Makes a U-turn, joins hand with Lebanon war. What do you think? They're going to go fight with the Israelis? No, they're going to fight against them and be a guard unto Lebanon. What does this say? Joins. See how the Spirit works? Russia makes U-turn, joined unto you. Look at this. Assembled. Assembled unto thee. Let's get joined. Let's find joined in there. Hordes gathered about, armies around you mobilized, hosts that are assembled, company gathered, assembled. Where's joined? See if we can dig that out. Assembled. Might not get it. Mobilized around you. Assembled. Assembled. Gathered together around you. Assembled, gathered, mobilized. Oh, no joined, huh? Okay. Same thing, though. Means the same thing. All right. I thought that it was going to say the same thing. It means the same thing. But anyway, let's watch it. Take it away, open-minded.
This is a heinous act of terrorism. We understand perfectly well that with such actions they are trying to bring the region to a global confrontation.
Now, before I play the rest of this is Maria Zakharova, I believe that's her. She's speaking on those pagers that blew up. And what she's doing, she's shining the proper light on it as the largest and most intricate act of terrorism ever performed on the earth. Okay? And that eventually everybody is going to have to give it up. You're going to have to acknowledge that this is what is going on. All right? That despicable act with the pagers and the walkie-talkies. Listen to what she says about it.
To strike children, civilians, women, in order to stir up public sentiment and set the Middle East on fire so that it's all in flames. But there is another important point. This is a terrorist attack that obviously could not have been carried out by a suicidal loner or just a suicide bomber or someone in a state of complete madness. This is a terrorist attack planned with a cool head, an extensively planned one. All the signs are there of an international terrorist attack because it is obvious that in order to gather such a large amount of equipment, it had to be brought in crossing several borders. Obviously, there is an international trail in this, and it should be investigated accordingly. Now the reaction of the West should be indicative. If the West remains silent and, as always, does not insist on an investigation, does not talk about human rights, does not repeat its rhetoric of many years, which they have used in similar cases when terrorist acts were committed on their territory, then this will be proof of their direct engagement.
Russia's growth.
Okay, so she just broke that thing down. You guys are the real terrorists. Israel and Babylon. Okay? Now, she's clearly Russian, and she's speaking. What is she saying? The Russians are coming to the rescue against the West. That's what she's saying. After that act of terrorism, we have to go help these helpless people because you guys are terrorizing the hell out of them. And it's all true.
Involvement in the Middle East, particularly in Lebanon.
Hey, check this out.
Salaki, bear with me. Yeah, so let's see how Russia is coming to the rescue here.
Particularly in Lebanon and Syria, signals a significant shift in its strategy, marking a more assertive stance against Israel and the West. The Russian Federation, which has been embroiled in the ongoing war in Ukraine since 2022, now appears ready to expand its geopolitical chess game into the Middle East. This move is aimed at deterring Israel's frequent bombings of its allies in the region and curbing the flow of Western-supplied high-end weapons that
prepare thyself and prepare for them that are joined or assembled unto you. Okay? This is exactly what's going on. Oh, well, we're going to go give, they're going to get into how they're going to arm the Houthis. Let the weak say I am strong, right?
Threaten Russian interests and its partners in the Middle East. To understand why Russia is taking these bold steps, it's essential to consider its history with NATO. Since the collapse of the Soviet Union, NATO has viewed Russia as a potential challenge to its global dominance. The West, particularly the United States, had hoped that the weakened post-Soviet Russia would quietly accept its diminished role on the world stage. However, as Russia rebuilt itself under Vladimir Putin, it became clear that Moscow was not willing to be sidelined. Russia's objections to Western interventions in Iraq, Syria, Libya, and Yugoslavia reflected its dissatisfaction with a world order where NATO and the US could act unilaterally, often under the guise of enforcing a rules-based international order. Russia's growing opposition to NATO's unchecked power culminated in its decision to intervene in Syria in 2015. At that time, the Assad government was on the verge of collapse, facing a well-armed opposition backed by the West. Russia's intervention was a game changer. It not only saved Assad, but also demonstrated that Moscow had regained the military and geopolitical strength to challenge Western dominance in a critical region.
Okay, now, here's Russia coming in. They've been doing it since 2014, coming to the aid of their allies. Well, they're doing it now in Lebanon.
So in the US, this was a bitter pill to swallow. Russia's ability to turn the tide in Syria signalled that it was no longer willing to tolerate Western interference in regions where it had strategic interests. As the conflict in Europe rages on, Russia now appears to be extending its influence further into the Middle East.
Boom. That's all we need. That is all we need. Now, Netanyahu has to think, right? Oh, they didn't go to the Houthis. Let's get the Houthis. Salah.
Recently, Russian air defences engaged Israeli warplanes over Syria, marking a notable escalation. Of the 19 missiles fired by Israeli jets at the Syrian port city of Tartus, all were intercepted by Russian defences. This incident is significant not just because it prevented a potential disaster in Syria, but because it sent a clear message to Israel and the West. Russia is prepared to defend its allies in the region.
Boom. Right out of the... We got to get that again. Get ready, be prepared, keep all the armies around you mobilized and take command of them. You don't see that? Get ready, prepare yourself. You and all your company gathered around you, you will be their guard. That's what we're seeing.
Even if it means confronting a country like Israel, which has historically maintained cordial relations with Moscow. This newfound Russian resolve is also evident in Lebanon. The ongoing conflict between Israel and Hezbollah has drawn increasing Russian attention, with Moscow showing a willingness to intervene in ways that challenge Israel's freedom to strike targets across the region. The recent Russian interception of Israeli missiles aimed at Lebanese resistance fighters embedded with the Syrian army suggests that Moscow is now playing a more direct role in shaping the military dynamics of the Israel-Lebanon conflict. By limiting Israel's ability to strike at will, Russia is not only defending its allies, but also demonstrating that it can and will influence the outcome of conflicts that could potentially threaten its own strategic interests. Beyond Lebanon and Syria, Russia's moves in the region appear to be aimed at curbing Western influence more broadly. A recent report indicates that Russia is in talks with Iran about supplying advanced anti-ship missiles to Yemen's Houthi forces. If
Now listen close to this.
deal goes through, it would provide the Houthis with the capability to target American and Western warships in the Red Sea, a critical region for global maritime trade. The missile in question, the P-800 Onyx, is a supersonic anti-ship weapon with a range of about 186 miles. By equipping the Houthis with such advanced weaponry, Russia would effectively raise the stakes in the ongoing conflict, turning...
If they give those missiles to the Houthis are going to say, hey, nigga, I was once weak and now I'm strong. Listen to that.
Range of about 186 miles. By equipping the Houthis with such advanced weaponry, Russia would effectively raise the stakes in the ongoing conflict, turning Yemen into a potential flashpoint.
That's good. Turning Yemen into the strong. Let's get that. We'll go ahead and close out. Go back to Joel. Go to King James. Go to 12.
Potential flashpoint for US and European naval forces.
Slovakia.
The implications of this...
Where was it? Joel. 10. Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spirit. Let the weak say I am strong. Let the Houthis get those missiles. Right? Let the Houthis get their missiles, dude.
Actual arms transfer are profound. The Red Sea is a key shipping route for global trade, and any escalation of hostilities there could have significant economic consequences. If the Houthis are able to effectively target commercial vessels, it would disrupt shipping routes and potentially provoke a military response from the West. More importantly, it would signal that Russia is willing to challenge Western military supremacy in regions far beyond its immediate borders.
And there you have it. Okay, there's your update. So the Houthis are slated to get some real deal missiles and sink some carriers. So we'll sit back and watch. We'll end it right here. We hope that the elect were edified. You brothers and few sisters, with that, we're going to say shalom.